Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I thought I would do a revamp, I guess, of a figure that I made about a year ago on March the 14th, 2014. I made my first little leprechaun, and in that year I've learned a lot of different tips and techniques and whatnot. So I thought, similar to with the princesses and the fairies that have all been updated to show my new styles, I would do the same with my little leprechaun, seeing as St. Paddy's Day is coming towards us rather fast. One of the things you'll notice is I do have hair on the back of his head, which I think is a nicer technique. It's the same figure, other than I have made his body the size that I make all my normal figures. And I've made his legs the same as normal figures, and I've also done his shoes the way I like to do my shoes, rather than just have a couple of black bands on the end of legs. So this is what we're going to make today. You're going to need a single loom. He is a bit bigger than a single loom. We're going to have to make him in two parts and put him together. We'll make his body first, and then we'll add his head to the top of that. All right, so single loom in the offset configuration. It's going to be the arrow pointing towards you, or the open part of the peg pointing towards you. We're going to be double banding, and that means you take two bands and you place them together at the same time. The colours that I've chosen to use are the dark green from Rainbow Loom. I'm using black, a couple of black bands and 3 yellow bands. I'm also using the neon green as well, and skin tone, and I'm using caramel for his little beard and hair. I'm also using the 4mm by 7mm mini pony beads for his eyes. Alright, let's get started. We're going to start, as I said, doing his body, and then we add his head onto that. So what we're going to do is take 2 skin tone bands, and we're just going to put them on these top 2 pegs here. Top 1 peg, 2 bands, 1 peg on this top peg here, and that's going to be his neck. And we're going to just leave that sitting there so that when we take this off, that's what we're going to use. And we're going to start by doing the darker green bands, and as I said, we're double banding. So you take 2 bands and you place them together like this. Now, in my original design I did layers, and I have a video showing you how to do layers, which makes things very clear and easy. So if you prefer doing layers, please have a quick look at that. It's in my tips and tricks. I'm not doing layers for this one. I'm actually going to do them on the side, which is the technique that I prefer. Now I'm moving to the neon green. So you have 2 dark green here at the top, the first from peg 1 to 2, and then it's neon green. So we're having 1, 2, 3 and 4 pair, but the first pair are going to be the dark green, okay? And then we're moving back to dark green. We're going to put a pair of dark green from the center here. You've got 2 dark green. I've got 2 pair of dark green on each. I'm going to put 2 dark green here and 2 dark green here. Push them down. You're going to take a single dark green and wrap it around your hook once and twice, and that's going to pop just here as an end cap. Okay, and now what we're going to do for his little legs, and he's only a leprechaun, so he's only got little legs. We're doing 1 pair and 2 pair of dark green, and then a pair of the lime or neon, whatever it is. So we've got 1 and 2 and then the neon, like that. Same on the other side, 1 and 2, and the neon are his socks. Now we're doing his shoes a little bit differently. I'm not doing them quite as big as I did the socks, the shoes for Marvin the Martian, but I am doing them in that same sort of technique. So we have these. We're going to need some crossover bands. Now I'm going to use dark green as my crossover band. Normally I pick the colour that I'm doing on the outside. Well, we're going to be adding a layer here, and it's not going to be a layer, it's going to be on the side, but an extra column either side of dark green. And if I use the neon, you're going to see it on the sides here. So I'm picking dark green as my crossover band. You won't see that inside because the bands will cover it, but I feel that that's a better choice. So a single dark green, and we'll stretch that across here, and we'll stretch the next one across here. And I'm just using singles. I'm not looping them on themselves. He doesn't need to have a nice little tight waist. He's a little chubby leprechaun. So just the singles. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now for his belt, we need to come down 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to be sitting, we want it to sit on this second one here. So I'm going to put it on this green band here. You sort of go one above. Because if I was to put it here, if I was to put it on this band here, as I flip it down, it's going to sit too close to this. So if I put it here and I flip it down, it sits to here. Same with this. So we'll put our belt here on these 3, and I'm going to use black, and I'm going to use a single band and do a figure 8 on my hook. I'm not going to stretch it with my fingers because I don't want to make it so that it's out of, stretched out of shape. And I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to put it on top of that one. So I'm doing 2 black bands, but I'm doing each one separately. So there's my first one, and here's my second one, like that. The buttons we're going to do after the fact. Alright, there's my first one, and there is my second one. Alright, now for his arms, you can do them on your hook or you can do them on your loom. If we're going to do them on the loom, we're going to use this section here. Alright, and we will need to add. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6 because we're making him a little longer. So whereas normally I would do 5 for an arm, I'm doing 6 for an arm. If you choose to use your loom, it will be a little bit trickier to put these little, I call them just little embellishments on his wrist here, which I think looks quite nice. But if you choose to, you just lay the bands down here and loop them up. I'm going to do them on my hook. I'm going to start with a single, wrap it once and twice, and it's skin tone, and slide onto a pair of skin tone. Like this, and reclaim. Now we're going to use a pair of the dark green. You're going to slide on, but you're not going to reclaim just yet. Okay, what we're going to do is take this off and take a couple of, well, just one of the lighter green, wrap it once and twice, and then pop this back on your hook and slide over. And do the same on the other side. So don't reclaim just yet. Get the other green, wrap once and twice. Now pop this on the end of your hook and grab this and slide over. And that just makes it look like his shirt is popping out the end of his sleeve. And then we're going to do dark green. So this is got 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair. This is 4, 5, and 6. As I said, normally I only use 5 pair for an arm, but because he's a little bit taller with his hat and everything, I'm using 6. And I'm going to pop that here on his shoulder. Okay, now as I said, if you're using your loom, you're going to be placing your bands like this. 1, 2, 3. You're going to have a pair of skin tone, and you need a single, wrap it once and twice, like that. Now to do the little cuffs for his sleeve, take a single, wrap it once and twice around your hook. You're going to lift this one up and slide on like so. Alright, so that just sits here like that. Dig down past your end cap, grab the 2 and loop up. Take another green, wrap once and twice, and this is the neon green. You're going to grab the green and slide that on like this and loop up. Okay, loop up, loop up, loop up, and you will need to put one more pair of green, but that's how you do the little sleeve like that. So one more pair of dark green to make it 6, like so, and there you have your arm made on your loom. Make a bit of space here. We're going to pop that on his other shoulder, just here. Okay, so you've got both ways. You can do it on your hook or you can do it on your loom. Now we need to do his shoes, and you're going to need 2 little yellow bands for this, and the rest are going to be black. You're going to start by taking 2 black bands, wrap them around your hook once and twice, and just like we do on normal shoes or my normal shoes, slide that onto a pair of black bands. You're not going to reclaim, okay? You're going to take a pair of black bands and slide onto one end. Again, you're going to let go and you're not going to reclaim just yet. So you've sort of got it like this. Take one of your yellow bands and you're going to wrap it once, twice. Take a black band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself, and you're going to slide the yellow band onto that. Okay, now what we're going to do is put that onto here like this. Alright, so you've got your yellow band on your little wrapped black band here. Push this down. Reclaim the end of the 2 that you just had here. Okay, put that up the top so it's out of the way. So you've got that on. You've looped that back on like this. Now you're going to do the same this side. So reclaim the bottom part of your shoe, and again take 2 bands, slide on. Now you're not going to reclaim. Hold this part so you're like this. If you have a look, you've got this side of this band and you've got this side of this band. We're going to slide this onto these 2 parts. So you're going to hold with your finger here, grab the yellow band, okay, and move it up and over the end of your hook. That captures those 2 bands like that, and then you're going to replace that. So you've now got your little foot part right there in the middle, but it doesn't show through on the back. Okay, take another pair and you're going to slide all of those through. Don't reclaim, alright? Maybe even put it on your finger if you need to. Take another pair, wrap once and twice. Now you can reclaim like so. Try and make it so it's not twisted. Another pair, sorry, my voice went croaky. Slide on and slide those 2 on. Oops, we've got a straggler I try and make it so that they are even and they're in the right order. And reclaim. So this little bit here acts as our heel and gives us the angle of our shoe. This is the buckle of our shoe, and we're going to pop this on the end of his foot just here. Alright, I know it's a little bit tricky, but he has big feet. So let's do the other one. We'll do it slowly again. You take your first two, wrap it once and twice. Take your next two and slide on. That bit's nice and easy. Okay, now push that down to the end of your hook. You don't need it for a second. Take your next two. Okay, slide this over, and you're just going to leave that sitting there. Okay, can you see? You've got this one on this one. Take your next yellow band, wrap it once and twice. A single black band that you're going to stretch, figure 8, loop it on itself, and you're going to slide that yellow band onto it and reclaim. So it's sitting there. Budge it down and reclaim the end of those other two bands. So it's sitting in between. Now you come to this end here and put it on your hook. You're going to take another two bands and slide through these like that. Hold on to it. What we're doing, if you have a look, this is one band here, this is the other pair here. You're going to slide this yellow band onto these two. So hold this out, take your yellow band, lift it up and move it over to the end of your hook. You've now captured those two in there. You've got 4 loops. Turn it round so that it's facing forward and reclaim. That's the buckle of your shoe. Take another 2 and you're going to slide through all of them. Again, don't reclaim. You can hold this side out. Take another 2. This is for the heel. Wrap it once and twice. Now you can reclaim. Alright, so that's for the heel of the shoe. Your last 2, you're going to slide all of that onto it. I do the first 2 bands, then I do the wrapped band, then I do the last 2. Now, you can't just flip this the other way because the buckle's going to be on the wrong side. So pinch this and take your hook out and reverse your hook so that it goes the other way. Okay, and then you can pop that on the end here. Okay, like that. So they are his shoes. So we've got legs, we have the end cap, we have our crossover bands, and we have everything else. We need to add the extra parts of his stomach, but what we're going to do first is loop up. So dig down past the end cap, grab the 2 top bands and loop them to the side, and then do the same on the other side, and you can loop that center one up as well. Okay, that's important. Next, you're going to dig down, grab the socks, which are the neon green, keep your shoe in its place and loop these up. Let's find the other side and loop up. We're going to loop up to the hips. Here we go. Like so. Now, this is where we're going to add the extra part. So grab your dark green bands. Okay, we're going to loop up this first pair here. So 1 and 2. We need these to loop down, okay, for the belt. But what we'll do is we're going to add the extra bits first. So grab 2 bands and you're going in at the spot where we join all the things in the groin area. We're going to come in here, all right, just here. Grab 2 bands and you're going to pull them through and you're going to reclaim. And then we're going to take another 2, pop them on the end of your hook and pull through. Now what we're going to do is grab, so you've got one side of the bands on your finger, the other side on your hook, grab the crossover band, put it on your hook, and then reclaim. Okay, this is how we trap the crossover bands in. You're going to drag through another pair, and you're going to do the same again. Grab the crossover band and reclaim. Grab another pair. Oops. Put them on your finger. Slide onto your hook and pull through. Grab another crossover band. Grab your next pair. They want to fall off my finger. Come here. There we go. Nope. There we are. Drag through. One more set of crossover bands. Grab that. And this is going to be our last pair of green. Drag through, and we place on the arm here. Make sure you've got 4 loops there. Okay, just like that. Now, it is going to make it a little tricky doing the flip over, okay, because what you have to do, what you're wanting to do, is when you lift this up, you're going to move this crossover band up, okay, dig down here, grab the neon green and loop up. Now what we have to do is pull this out to the side a little bit, like that. You're going to grab your hook under here, grab those black bands, move forward like so, okay, and then you have to put your crossover band back, so you have to lift those 2 top, pop this back and move like that. Okay, so that's how you do that. Now if you want to do this, this one, you don't have to worry about this one because the crossover band doesn't get in the way. If you want to do this one beforehand, take this off and dig down, and you do this bit first, and it's completely up to you. Either way works. Move that forward, pretty it up, go between the 2 and grab the 2 top bands, move your crossover band back like that. Now the only difference is that when we come to do the outside bit, we have to dig around a bit for this. Okay, so it's tricky either way. It's up to you which way you choose to do it though. So if we're going here now, let's do this side. You come through where the trousers start here with your first pair of green, loop through, get your second pair of green and drag through. Now we have to grab this crossover band, and this is where I'm saying it's a little tricky because you've got to go between here, okay, and grab that crossover band, put it on your hook and then reclaim, which is why I prefer doing it this way that I did on this side, but either way works. Grab your next green and slide through all 5 loops of bands. Now you can drag through to grab your next crossover and pop on your hook. Drag them through. Here's your next crossover, pop on your hook. As I said, if you prefer to do the layer method, that's completely up to you. And as I said, I have a video showing you how to layer. Drag through and pop on top here. Pop on top. I'm feeling like I'm Dr. Seuss. There we go. Like that. Now we can link up. So dig down. You're pushing the crossover band. So with the dark green, you're pushing back with the back of your hook. Now the other thing we're going to do, as we get up here, I'm going to lift these top 2 bands up, hold them to the side, dig down and loop these up and then put that back. I just feel it looks nicer. So let's do this side. 1, 2, top 2 bands, lift up and hold out, loop up and replace. And I'm pushing everything down, I don't want things to lose. Okay, let's do this center one, up and up. Now again, go under the bottom pair of green bands, grab the black ones, just the black ones, not the other neon, and pull forward. If you don't get all of them, you can just dig down again and grab the ones you've left behind and pull forward. Okay, and then we loop up and up. I like to do the shoulders first so that this neon one goes on top. So I'm going to dig down and grab the 2 green and then the other 2 green, and I'm going to loop this up to here. Okay, so that is my the body. I'm going to grab my skin tone bands like this. You're not tying them off. You're just going to put them on a hook. Now, we need to have a holding hook for this. If you don't have an extra hook to use as a holding hook, you could use a chopstick, you could use a pencil, you could use a toothpick, anything just to put through so that you're holding these bands and they're not going AWOL. The other thing you want to do is maybe use the back of a hook to help you take this off the loom, because you don't want any bands to break. Gently ease him off. There we go. And pull his belt down a little bit. It will never sit perfectly on his waist so that you don't see any of the green, but I mean, at the end of the day, the only way to really do that would be to add it after the fact and have a knot at the back, and I think I actually prefer to not have a knot at the back. Okay, so there's his little legs. This is like his little jacket sticking out a little bit. We have his arms. Now, one of the things you'll notice is his arms are sticking backwards. You're going to find these 2, if you have a look here, so I'm trying to be really clear, you see this top pair of bands here. You're going to lift the 2 bands, the 2 loops that are this side at the back, and put his arm through, okay, so that it comes to the front, and on the same here. So if you have a look, these 2 bands here, these 2 loops, you're going to just pop his arm through without stretching them too much, and then his arms will sit nicely at his side. Alright, well, we need to change the configuration of our loom to accommodate this. So what we're going to do, pop out your middle column, okay, and we're going to make it so that it is sitting one lower than these 2. Push that down like so. And we're going to do his head. Now his neck is going to sit on this bottom peg here. Let's do his hat. We'll start with his hat. We're going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 pegs. And we're going to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and up. I'm pretty sure 8 is right. One pair, 2 pair. Move his body out of the way so I don't keep hitting it. 1 pair, 2 pair, another pair. Well, that band was very stretched. Look at that. I'll get rid of that one. Now I'm going to do a pair of green from the centre to the right, from the centre to the left, and this is his hat. Okay, I'm going to take a single and I'm going to stretch it over those 3. I'm going to take a single and I'm going to stretch it, loop it on itself in a figure 8 and put that in this next one, and then on this one just a single stretched like that. Now for his hat, on this peg here, so these 3 here, we're going to put our band. So we take a single and do a figure 8 and pop on this peg here, a single, figure 8, and put it on this peg, oopsie, here. And on this one we're going to do 1 single black band, 1 single yellow band, and it's twisted, so you're twisting it on itself, and 1 more single black band. Push things down like that. Okay, push these down. Now for the puffiness to the side of his hat, take a single, wrap it once and twice, dark green, and you're going to slide onto a pair of dark green, 1, another pair, 2, and 1 more pair, 3. And we're going to put these ones, the loops that are on our hook, just on the top here like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Single, wrap it around your hook once and twice, and 3 pair of dark green. So there's number 1, number 2, number 3. That's going to sit just here, like that. For the brim of his hat, we're going to do a little something there as well. So a single band, wrap once and twice, and you just slide onto a pair. Now I'm just going to pop one side, right, this side here. I'm just going to pop it on top of this for the minute, because I'm not ready to loop this up. The other side I'm just going to pop on here. I'm not ready to loop that up yet, but it needs to sit there so I don't forget. Wrap another one once and twice, slide onto a pair, and again one side on the one with the black band and the other side below it. Alright, we're not ready to do it yet, but we need to have that there for us. Okay, now I'm having a look here. I think I want these to be on the peg below. It doesn't really matter, but I think it would look nicer. I'm going to move it to one peg below. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now we need to the back of his head, and we're using caramel, and I'm going to do a pair, either side. Whoops. Slam my loom down. Either side like this. Now, taking a single, you're going to stretch it across, and another single, you're going to stretch that across. The thing we have to do now is also the back of his head, okay? We want to tie the back of his head in with his face, which means we would have 2 skin tone bands like this, okay? And these skin tone bands are going to have an end cap on them, and we're going to wrap a single band round once and twice. Now this is a little bit different than how we would normally do a face, because we're, you know, at the end of our loom here. So what we're going to do is hold on to these 2 and slide that on like this. Keep your hook on the end. There you go, like that. So keep your hook on the end, and you're going to loop that up like that. This is going to act, when we're ready, this is going to act as part of our neck, okay? So now what we have to do is hold this, pull this back, okay? Grab the 2 top bands, and you're going to loop them to their side. Do the same for the next 2 top bands. Come over here, you. There we go. Those 2 go here, and then these 2 come up. So that just sits like that. Okay, that's the back of his neck. You're going to loop these ones up, and you're going to loop these first ones on either side up. Don't link these ones up just yet. Push all of this down, because now what we have to do is lay the bands for his face. You're not going to do the top ones. We're coming from this peg here, so it's one under where we have that black band, yellow band and black band. Take another pair here, a pair here, and a pair here. Push everything down as I smash things again. 2 from the center to the right, 2 from the center to the left. I want to make sure I'm not too twisted here. A single across as a crossover band. Take another single, twist it once, twice and 3 times, and that goes across these. This is where the eyes are going to go. Now I'm using the 4mm by 7mm mini pony beads. If you don't have those, if you have black bands, that works fine. You take a single black band, wrap it once, twice, 3 times and 4 times. That's the same as 1 bead. So you do 2 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I slide my beads onto a skin tone band, you slide your bands, your black bands on. It works just the same. It really isn't that much of a difference. I have beads, so I'm using them, but that's just the way it is. You can use a metal threader, you can use dental floss, you can use a hook, whatever way to get your beads onto your band, like so. And then you're going to spread it across like this. Split your band so that your hook is in the middle, and you lift that top part up and over this peg here, and then it acts as a crossover band for you, which is quite handy. Now we're not going to do a neck band because we're using the band we have on the end of his body as his neck. The thing we need to do though is, if you look here, we still have this crossover band at the bottom that we used. It's not, I'm sorry, not a crossover, an end cap, and we need that end cap to be on our neck, this band here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, taking your body, take the 2 loops off. Okay, you need to put your hook through the center here, moving from the top to the bottom. Okay, reclaim the end of your neck bands on the body like that, so that you have it like this, and you're going to pull those neck bands through like that, and then pop it on the end of your loom like so. Oops, let's make sure we get both of them on there like that. So that is your neck band. Okay, then you're going to drag your hook through and grab the top two, just the top two, and loop to the side, and do the same on the other side. Let's see if we can get just the top two. And if you can only do one at a time, that's fine. I can see I've lost one. Come back here, you. No escape artists today, thank you very much. There's my next top one. There we go. And then let's do these. Now this is a fiddly bit joining it together, but it works. There's my next one. So to do his whiskers, we need to preload our hook with 6 bands in caramel for either side. So here's our first side. 1 and 2. Wrap it. 1 and 2. 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 So you have 6 bands on your hook. Take a single caramel band, and what we're going to do is go through these 2 bands here at the very neck like this. Alright, now we're wanting to slide 2 of these wrap bands onto this. So what I'm going to do is hold my hook like that and slide 1 band, and here's a second band like that. There's 2 bands. Now I'm going to take another single band and I'm going to go through the end loops there like that. Now what I'm going to do is go through these 2 bands under here. Alright, so as you can see, we're on these pair here, we're on this bottom pair of bands here like so. Alright, and what we're going to do is pull that through like this and slide 1 and 2. Okay, our next band is going to go through these here. So what you're going to do is grab it through like that. Okay, hold it to the side, and you've got 2 left on here. I'm going to slide those over like that. You're going to take another band and pull through the end like that. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, this is 4, and it's going to go up here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Preload 6. So wrap once and twice. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once and twice. 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 And again, I'm going to do the same. Go through these bands here, okay? Grab a single band, pull it through, reclaim, and we're going to put 2 bands. So here's 1, and here's our second one here, and 2. Take another single band, and we're going to go through those 2 loops, okay? And then we're going to grab the 2 bottom of these ones here and pull through like that, okay? Take another pair of these, slide on. You're going to get another single, and this time you're going to go through, you're going to grab the skin tone, pull it through like that, slide those last two on, and take another, pull it through, and that will sit up here. Alright, so we've got these linked in. I'm going to dig down, loop these up. You need to dig down here and find the top two skin tone bands, not the crossover band. You've got to be careful. You don't want to grab the crossover band. Whoops. Let's try not to lose our band. There we go. And now these two here, this side. There we go. Loop up. I'm going to loop these up. Now I'm going to lift the top band off. It's just one band, not two. Push back. Grab those two bottom caramel bands, loop up, and put that back. I want that one on the top. Again, I'm going to do the same this side. Hold it out to the side, dig down, loop up the two caramel, and then put this one back like that. Now, we're going to dig down here and find the top two green, loop to the side, then the next top two green, loop to their side, loop this one up like that. We're going to go under the bottom, get my hook out, under these bottom two here, and grab all of those bands and move them forward and through. Now if you don't get all of them, go back, and you want to make sure that you're not grabbing the crossover band, which is what I'm doing. There we go. And you're going to have two black at the top, two yellow, two black. Okay, so we've done that one. Now we have to take these two loops off, move them to the side, and pop on here. Same here. Take these two off. Okay, and they need to sit on the same peg that they were on. Okay, they're going to be the brim of the hat. You're going to dig down and all the way to the bottom find the two very bottom green bands and loop up, and same this side all the way. There's lots of bands to get past. Grab them and loop up, hook over here. Now we've got this crossover band in the way, so what I'm going to do, lift this up. I'm going to get rid of that crossover band just for a second. Okay, put this back on, put my hook through, grab the black band and move it forward, and then I'm going to lift up the top two bands and put my crossover band back, and then replace those two loops. Let's do the same this side. Lift this up, take your crossover band out the way, put that back, flip this little bit through like that, and then again lift those top two bands, grab your crossover, place it back in its spot, and replace those bands. That's important. Now the next thing that's important is grabbing the end cap of these two bits that are on the sides here. There's the end cap, push your hook through. It needs to sit on the peg that we're working on now, and the same for the other side. There's the end cap, place it on that peg, dig down, and you're going to loop these two bottom bands up, one, and on the other side I've got one there. Let's find the other one. There it is. Now that's important, because if you forget that, these bits aren't going to get looped in at that spot. You're going to lift the top two bands of this up and hold them out the way, loop these up and replace. Same on this side, lift the two top up, dig down, loop up and replace. We can dig down here and loop those up. Now we're looping these ones into the middle. Okay, so dig down from the left. I tend to pull up and then loop it down. Pull up and loop down. Now, it is difficult to tie off in the middle of your loom. It is difficult. Even if you had left bands there, it's still tricky. You're going to push your hook through and out to the side, and you're going to try and grab 2 bands on the end of your hook, like so. Okay, make sure you grab them both. There we are. Come here. There. And pull through. And you're going to tie off in a slip knot. Now I can see my band is twisted, so I'm just going to let go, put my hook the other way, and tie off like that. Okay. Grabbing the back of a hook, I'm gently going to ease this off my loom. And I want that nice and tight. Gently ease the hat off. There's lots of bands, so please be careful. Take him off our little loom, pretty up his beard. I'm going to move the loom out the way. Now these bands, you can just sort of spread them out so that they look a little bit more even, like so and like so. Make sure his arms fit nicely. Tie these bands, or grab the tie-off bands, pull them back through the back of his hat, so that you can discreetly hide them. I like to sort of tuck them under this part here so you can't see, and then just inside so that they're sitting flush against his hair, and then you can't see those at all. As you can see, he's got hair at the back of his head, which I think is a nicer look. And there, my dears, we have our little leprechaun. And just to finish him off, we need to do some buttons down the centre here. So I'm going to use 2 black bands. Take your first black band and you're going to do a figure 8 on your loom like this. Then stretch it out past where the peg ends and do another figure 8 and loop it back over itself. Using your hook, you're going to go underneath on the bit that's actually got the cross on it. Take the first loop up and over, take the second loop up and over, and we have formed a little knot. Alright, we can do that to the second one as well. Now, this is an added option, an optional part. You don't need to do this. If you just like him the way he is, you don't need to do this. But if you want to have little buttons down the front of him, this is how we do it. And you get your little button, little knot in the centre, like that. Now, what we're going to do, push your hook through the centre from the back, all the way through, like that. Grab one end and pull it through. And then you're going to push your hook through a separate, down the bottom of the V of that stitch. Grab the other end of the loop and pull it through. You're going to then take one over the other, leaving that single loop on there. You're going to go through the next part, which is here. And again, grab one loop, pull it through, and then go through the next loop. Now I'm going to go a little bit through one of the bands here of his belt. So I'm going to just flip that through so it's underneath. Grab the other loop and pull it through. So there's my two little buttons. As you can see, I've got 3 loops on my hook now. Top one over the other, and then I'm going to join them together. And all I'm going to do to join them is take a single. Now you can use a black band and hide it under here, or you can use the neon green. It really doesn't matter. Put the neon green through both of those loops and tie off in a slip knot, and then you're going to hide that just by going through some of the bands here at the back. So if you just go through a couple of the bands and draw it through, try not to catch everything else at the same time. And if you do it on the top, then you're kind of masking the back of the buttons anyway. Draw that through and hide it. I'm going to try and hide it under his belt here, like that. There we go. I'm going to hide that just like that. I don't think anybody's going to notice that. So there's his buttons. Now the other thing that he has is a little 4-leaf clover in his hand. So to do the 4-leaf clover, take a single green, wrap it once, twice, 3 times, and you're going to take a pair and slide on. Now the other way you can do it, if you want to make it look a little prettier, is instead of having a light green on the tip, you can do a dark green, 1, 2, 3, and slide onto a pair. It's completely up to you how you do it. I'm going to do one of each. 1, 2, 3, and slide on. And I'll do another dark green, seeing as I'm doing it like this. 1, 2, 3, and a pair, and slide on. And you've got all of those on your hook. You're going to take a pair and slide these all on like this, and reclaim just like that. Now you can do one over the other and tie it over here, which is, I think, is what I'm going to do, because I want this to be quite small. So I'm going to take this side up and over like so, and I'm going to pull tight into a little slip knot like that, and then I'm going to push my hook through the end cap on his hand, grab the end of the little clover and pull it through, just as if he's holding a little 4-leaf clover. So there's our little leprechaun. I really hope you enjoy making him. Take care. Bye bye.